Olhay. Antalya. Resort and a seaport in the south of Turkey on the bank of the Mediterranean Sea, the administrative center of the province Antalya. The resident population of the city, a little more than 1 million people. At the same time, during the summer period, number of the people who are actually in the city can exceed 2 million because of active tourist flow. The territory of Antalya is conditionally divided into the old and new city. Official administrative division on 5 areas. Aksa, Shamalta, Kipaz, Konyaalta, Muratpaşa. History. The territory of the present province Antalya has been inhabited since the time of the most ancient people. Carving of stone and bronze centuries are known. From the most ancient civilizations, the Hetski kingdom most longer dominated over the region. During the Hellenistic period, the region was in structure of Lycia and Pamphylia. Having passed to the Pergamum kingdom, the territory has undergone active development, and in 159 BB by order of the Pergamum Tsar Attil II, the city of Antalya has been founded. In 133 the city has been won by Romans. Became later the winter residence of the Emperor Adrian. In honor of his first visit, the gate which are the hallmark of the city to this day have been built at Adrianova. Long time Antalya was possession of Rome, then Byzantium. From I-2 century AD in the region the Christianity extends. Economic decline of the region has occurred in the 8th century after a destructive earthquake, attacks of Arabs and sea pirates. In the 11th century, from the beginning of Seljuqi expansion in the region, Islam begins to extend. In 1118, at the Byzantine Emperor John II Comnene, the city was an enclave of Byzantium. It was on a considerable distance from lands of the empire, so only the sea message with the rest of the country was possible. In 1119 John II has made a number of campaigns against Turks and has opened the way to Antalya by land. After the events of 1204, the power in the city was taken in hand by the Orthodox Italian by the name of Aldebrand. In 1206 the city for 16 days was besieged by Turks, but the help of 200 Cyprian knights for 1 year has delayed its falling. In 1207 the Seljuks win the region. The Greek name Antalya changes on Antalya. However, in a couple of years local Christians have lifted a revolt. The second time the city has been subdued by Turks in 1216. Remarkable historic fact. During the second conquest Turks have declared to Christians jihad, and after the victory have beaten out for intimidation the message with threat of death on city walls. However, it has been written by the Arab ligature which Christian Greeks did not understand. In 1321-1423 Antalya was the center of an independent Beylik of Tek. By 1387 the remains of local Christians were in so deplorable state that have written to the Constantinople Patriarch the letter with a request for the help in preservation of Orthodox Church. Turks have imposed the remained churches with such unreasonable taxes that to 1397 they were actually ruined. In 1423 Antalya, together with Beylik-i-Tek, is won by Ottoman Turks. At them the city receives the name Antalya. Contrary to ordinary opinion, it is not connected with the name of the region of Anatolia. In the Ottoman Empire, Antalya played an important role of sea trade port. The local slave market was one of the largest in the region. Vessels for sending for east boundaries of the empire also here were equipped. After World War I in 1919-1921, the city has been temporarily occupied by Italians. Antalya became one of outposts of preparation of the national liberation movement under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. Following the results of liberating war, Antalya was a part of the Republic of Turkey. Throughout the 20th century, the city underwent intensive development. Capacities of agriculture, the tanning industry, the marine transport and logistics were step by step increased. The city extended territorially, the transport network was formed. At the end of the century, against the background of intensive disclosure of tourist capacity of the Turkish Riviera, Antalya becomes the most important tourist center of the country. Highway D connects it to other resort areas, and the airport, updated in 1998 for a short time, becomes third largest passenger traffic in the country. Geography. Climate of Antalya subtropical with lines tropical, with soft rainy winter and in the long hot summer. Very large amount of rainfall in Antalya drops out in the winter thanks to Tavasky Mountains, which interfere with penetration of cyclones further on the north, kind of filtering their contents. In the summer of drought happen less than in the winter. Relative air humidity almost all the year round is from 55 to 65%. From May to October during rather dry season, clear slightly overcast weather dominates. From October to April the damp season with cold winds and abundant rains dominates. Negative air temperatures and snow are extremely rare and short. The swimming season conditionally is considered from the middle of May until the beginning of November. The relief of all province Antalya mainly mountainous, and the territory of the city is not an exception. The coastal zone has abrupt multimeter differences of height, well noticeable in the old city. On one of them there are falls. Farther from the coast in a zone of new buildings differences it is less. Primary branches of economy are agriculture, tourism, trade and light industry. From rather new parties of economic development of the city, it should be noted the construction of pleasure yachts gaining steam since the beginning of the 2010 years. From commissioning of new seaport. Agriculture is provided by crop production. Citrus, bananas, olives, apples, tomatoes, cucumbers, cotton. Livestock production. Sheep, a bird. And processing of agricultural products. Production of olive kernel oil, fruit juice, canned food. Despite an outlet to the sea, fishery and production of seafood in the region are practically not carried out. The light industry is provided first of all by textiles, clothes, household goods. In insignificant quantity there are tanning productions. Trade and tourism make a basis of economic well-being of the city and region. Up to the middle of the old years, tourist flow consisted mainly of consumers of package tours from Russia, Ukraine and Germany. Recently the authorities involved other concept. Instead of the isolated hotels, all-inclusive, emphasis is placed on attractiveness of all city and development of its recreational structures. Because of active inflow of tourists, also the trade presented on all levels, from huge megamalls to small private shops, prospers. The historic center. The Old City combines elements of the Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman architectural traditions. The bulk of the remained buildings and constructions treat the Ottoman period. In addition to architecture, the Old City of Antalya is also well known for the ancient monuments and the archaeological museum. In Antalya there is a huge airport. Its two international terminals are considered as one of the best on all Mediterranean coast. In 2014 the record has been set. Through the airport of Antalya there have passed 12.5 million people. The quality of motoring highways is at the high level. Across all territory of the city there is a large number of the organizations of a public catering and pleasure institutions. The coastal zone consists of beaches, many of which are noted by awards for the high level of comfort and purity. Children's attractions, water entertainments and small beach cafes, restaurants. It is a little hotels and hotels within the city. Generally they are located in suburban settlements. In the city 2 universities. Academy of Tourism of Antalya and Akdeniz. 3 sports complexes, a large number of schools, hospitals and preschool institutions function. Communication of Antalya with other country is provided by air, water and bus transport. The railroad is absent. Intracity public transport is provided by buses, tram. Ancient and a historical part of the city and modern monorail crossing all city. And share taxis. Dolmusha. At the same time in buses and trams have realized uniform payment of journey by the Antalya card and cash cards. Antalya also has the cycle infrastructure which is extraordinary, developed to the Turkish measures. Bicycle tracks, cycle parkings, bicycle rental. Practically at the level of the Western European megalopolises. In recent years the steady trend of growth of number of the Russians who are constantly living in Antalya was outlined. Acquisition of the real estate makes a powerful contribution to city treasury. Moving towards the interests of immigrants, the city authorities promote creation of a Russian-speaking microenvironment. At several schools there are Russian-speaking classes. Many shops have at least one Russian-speaking employee. Tourist attractions. Natural. Duden Falls. Konyaaltı and Lars beaches. The mountain Tutunik Tepe with a survey site. Fortifications. Region of the area of the Republic and Kaliki. Old City. Ataturk's House Museum, Mosque Murat Pasha, Mosque Tekeli of Mehmet Pasha, Yevli's Minaret, Iskil's Mosque, Idrinova of a Collar, Tower Hyderlik, Clock Tower. Monuments to Mustafa Kemal Ataturk and Alaaddin Kaykubadı. Archaeological Museum. The Nest Conference Center in the tourist area Balık. Water complex with aqua park, a dolphinarium and an aquarium. Zoo of Antalya. Archaeological sites of an antique era in the neighborhood of the city. An amphitheater in Espandosa, Perges ruins. Events and actions. Gold Orange Film Festival. The International Festival of Sculptures from Sand. Football and handball matches in the Antalya Arena Complex. The dramatized representations in Espandosa Theatre. Annual National Fight Championship in all Also many guides carry to sites and city parks. Karali Oblu. In the Old City. Mermerli. In the Old City near Port. Kanyaalta. In the district of the city of the same name. National Park Kershunlu Falls in the neighborhood of the city. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.